The music industry is a tough place to traverse in today's world. With profits down, more and more people are having a hard time making it, but yet, some still do. From curators to critics to artists to labels, many are able to find their own niche in the growing world of music and thrive from it. Hi, I'm Matt Monroe from 89.9, and this is How to Survive in the Music Industry. Today on the show, we're talking to Josh Dibb, aka Deakin, who you might know from his work as a member of Animal Collective, a Baltimore-based band that's made up of himself, Dave aka Aviator, Noah aka Panda Bear, and Brian aka Geologist. As an on-again, off-again member of the group, Deakin has been active making music for over 2 decades now, but after a 6-year delay has just released his debut solo album, Sleep Cycle, a fantastic mix of psychedelic pop, folk music, math rock, and more. On this series finale, we talked about how he got a start, his new album, and how he survives in the music industry. So Josh, my first question for you is, how did you get your start in making music?
Noah and I recorded a lot, starting around the age of 13, I guess, and that became kind of like a weekend hobby for both of us to get together and work on jams, or he would do stuff alone or I would do stuff alone, and we started getting in the habit of making cassette tapes and doing all the artwork ourselves, going to Kinko's and Xeroxing a bunch of stuff and making little inserts for cassettes and dubbing them and handing them out to friends and stuff, and that, I think that kind of energy around feeling like there was, to say there was a market for it is really silly, but it was just friends are just kind of a very small but significant kind of group of people that you're oh, if I make this and give it to this person, it's going to matter to them, and they're going to tell somebody else.
So initially, your new album came about from a Kickstarter where you raised funds for a trip to play a music festival in Maui, a CD and a book, and a Maui charity. Besides that, though, can you tell me what other factors came into play that sort of delayed the release of your new album?
Yeah, in some ways it's, I know part of it's going to involve talking about the Kickstarter thing, which is definitely a big part of it. In some ways it's really separate from that, which is just that I've been wanting to, I have been writing and recording my own music kind of independently from Animal Collective since I was, like I said, when Noah and I were about 13, 14 years old, we started doing it. And I think when Animal Collective really started gaining speed, and my respect for kind of what I felt like Noah and Dave could do, I kind of put my own, it sort of just made me put a lot of that stuff on the back burner. So I'd really been, but I've been kind of been pushing myself to want to make a record on my own, or just start to really be able to get songs on my own out for a long time. But I was having a hard time doing that, I think mostly for, I don't know, I guess kind of psychological reasons more than anything.
And, that answer kind of ties into my next question a little bit. How is it, producing for yourself compared to, to other people?
Yeah, I have really mixed feelings about it. It's weird because I love producing stuff, and I've gotten to work on, working on Down There for Dave was awesome. I love doing that. Stuff with Animal Collective that I've kind of been behind the controls with. I really love kind of producing and engineering stuff. It's really fun for me, and I think that when you're doing stuff on your own, or when I'm doing stuff on my own, I think I kind of have a conflicted feeling about it. On the one hand, I'm really specific and I'm really perfectionist, and I really enjoy the process. So I think I really want to be in a position of being, really in control of every aspect of it, from tracking to mixing and everything between.
And finally, I have to ask, how do you think you survive in the music industry today?
I don't know, man. Yeah, the music industry is changing so much. Even from, I guess we've been in it for kind of about 15, 16 years now, and it's just the way the profits work in the industry are just really different than they used to be. And I don't know if I've really figured it out yet. I kind of feel in a weird way, putting a solo record out right now. And coming from where I'm coming from, I sort of feel like I'm starting off kind of pretty fresh in a weird way. Not that Animal Collective isn't still clearly part of what I do, and I know that, that carries a lot with it. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of figuring it out, and it feels very different to be doing it from this perspective.
I want to thank Deakin for coming on the show to talk about his new album and more. If you want to check out Sleep Cycle, visit Deakin's Bandcamp page at deakinjams.bandcamp.com, or listen to it via iTunes or Spotify. Also, to learn more about Animal Collective, visit their website at myanimalhome.net. And also, they'll be in town on May 3rd to play a show at the pageant. To end off this series, I want to thank all my guests for coming on the show and talking about their various experiences in the music industry. I've gotten to talk to a lot of really great people from this series, so hopefully you learned a thing or two from these people, as this has been How to Survive in the Music Industry. Now let's get back to some great music on 89.9, College Radio's best.